These are the indoor air handlers. We're starting with downstairs first, just like we did with the condensing unit. In most systems, I try to start downstairs first. This is the downstairs indoor air handler. Some people call it the heater. Call it what you will. This is the return air vent, and when these are installed with updraft like this, there should be a galvanized pan underneath here inside of this encasement, and there's not. This is the primary drain line for the evaporator coil. It should have a P-trap, which it doesn't. And it should be insulated, which it's not. We learned here, and I don't have the serial number here, but it's probably manufactured in 1989. But I don't know that for sure. But we're going to find out. The air filter is 14 by 20 by 1. All air filters should be replaced before you take possession of the house. The cover plate is missing from it, so it's going to suck air, unfiltered air, into the system. We do not have a secondary drain line or a safety float switch for the evaporator coils, and we got some rust around here. I bet you got some rust on your coils as well. We do not have a main disconnect, electric service disconnect. No, here's where you could put one, or the manufacturer could have installed one, but they didn't. Now we're going to talk about this foam when we get outside of the condensing units next video. And this foam in here, although it should be better sealed, but this is acceptable. So what do we learn? We learned that our cover plate, 14 by 20 by 1 cover plate's missing. We learned that our P-trap, we do not have a P-trap for our primary drain line. We learned that, and that drain line's not insulated. We learned that we do not have a secondary drain line. We learned that some of our insulation is loose, and we learned that we do not have an electric service disconnect. This is where the thermostat's located. And this is a heat pump system, by the way. And I'm going to turn it over on heat. I kind of want to do that for a moment. Hear that, baby? I hear it. Let's go upstairs. And the thermostat, that's a good location. That's a good location for a thermostat. Laundry closet doors off. No safety pan for the laundry. Oh, here we go. This is not a good location for a thermostat. Thermostats are dumb animals. They only know what you tell them to do. So if you close this door, this thermostat will operate or not operate until it's comfortable in here. It has no idea what the temperature is in the other room. So whoever's in the other room, they might be burning up or they might be cold. You got a lock on the door? Yeah, you got a lock on the door. They'll have to text you. Hey, can you do something about the air conditioner? Okay. This is almost identical to the downstairs. The only difference is, one of the differences, let's just keep going, is we do have a P-trap for the primary drain line, but the drain lines are not insulated. We do not have a secondary drain line. We won't have a galvanized pan underneath there. And this door for 14 by 20 by 1, you do have the door. You're supposed to have one of those downstairs, but this door, if you'll see, it doesn't fit real good. So that's still sucking water. Air. Still sucking air. Cover's all taped up. Still no electric disconnect. Oh, and on both of these we have care and use manuals. So what did we learn? We learned that both of our indoor air handlers do not have safety pans. We learned that both of our indoor air handlers are leaking air at the filters. We learned that both of our indoor air handlers do not have insulation on the primary drain line. We learned that both of our air handlers have care and use manuals. We learned that both of our air handlers do not have a secondary emergency float switch. We learned that this insulation is acceptable. We learned that both of our air conditioning units, both of our indoor air handlers, they do not have a switch. So we learned that this one is different than the one downstairs. It's going to be a few years newer, but it's still old. It's going to be a few years newer, and it's going to have a P-trap. And that's what we learned.